Idiom, keep your head. Definition, keep calm, especially in a difficult or dangerous situation. Examples, even when the fire alarm went off, Sarah managed to keep her head and guided everyone to safety. It's important to keep your head during exams so you don't make careless mistakes. The coach told the players to keep their heads even if the other team scored first. Idiom, lose your head. Definition, to panic or lose control of your emotions, especially in a stressful situation. Examples, when the fire alarm went off, she didn't lose her head and calmly led everyone outside. It's important not to lose your head during an emergency. Stay focused and act quickly. He tends to lose his head whenever things don't go according to plan. Idiom, laugh, scream, shout your head off. Definition, to laugh, scream, or shout very loudly and energetically, often in an uncontrolled or exaggerated way, informal. Examples, the kids laughed their heads off when the clown slipped on a banana peel. She screamed her head off when she saw the spider crawling up her arm. The fans shouted their heads off during the final minutes of the championship game. Idiom, be banging or hitting your head against a brick wall. Definition, to keep trying to achieve something that is very difficult or impossible, especially because other people are not cooperating or listening. Examples, trying to convince my boss to change his mind is like banging my head against a brick wall. She felt like she was hitting her head against a brick wall every time she tried to get her kids to clean their rooms. Whenever I ask the council to fix the potholes, it's just banging my head against a brick wall. Idiom, bring something to a head, something comes to a head. Definition, an unpleasant situation becomes so bad or intense that it must be addressed or resolved immediately. Examples, the ongoing arguments between the two departments finally came to a head when the manager called a meeting to resolve the issues. Tensions in the family were brought to a head after the siblings refused to speak to each other at dinner. The financial problems came to a head when the company could no longer pay its employees. Idiom, shouting their heads off. Definition, to shout very much and very loudly. Examples, the kids were shouting their heads off during the birthday party, making it impossible to hear anything. Fans were shouting their heads off at the concert when the band came on stage. My neighbors were shouting their heads off last night, so I couldn't get any sleep. Idiom, banging your head against a brick wall. Definition, to keep trying to achieve something that is very difficult or impossible, especially when your efforts are ignored or not successful. Examples, trying to convince my boss to change his mind is like banging my head against a brick wall. She felt like she was banging her head against a brick wall every time she tried to get her kids to clean their rooms. He's been banging his head against a brick wall, trying to get the city council to fix the potholes. Idiom, came to a head. Definition, an unpleasant situation became so bad or intense that it had to be dealt with immediately. Examples, the conflict between the two departments came to a head when both managers refused to compromise. Tensions in the family came to a head during the holiday dinner, and they finally talked about their issues. The financial problems came to a head last month, forcing the company to make some tough decisions. Idiom, put ideas into someone's head. Definition, make someone want to do something they had not wanted to do before, usually something foolish or unwise. Examples, don't put ideas into his head about skipping school. He hadn't even thought of it until you mentioned it. She accused her brother of putting ideas into her son's head when he suggested trying out for the football team. I wish you wouldn't put ideas into their heads about traveling alone. They're too young for that. Idiom, get your head around. Usually, can't get my head around. Definition, come to fully accept or understand something. Informal. Examples, I just can't get my head around the fact that they're moving to another country. It took me a while to get my head around the new software at work. She couldn't get her head around why the project was canceled so suddenly.
Thank you for watching. Please subscribe and like the video. Practice idioms you like in comments. Follow us on Telegram and check out mobile app for effective learning and training. Happy learning!